Welcome back to Main Street Living. It's March, so are you feeling it? Are you feeling the madness? We're quickly approaching one of the most popular, most exciting, and depending on your bracket, one of the most nerve-wracking championship tournaments in all of sports.
Yeah, Tom, I don't know if I'm feeling the madness per se, but you are correct. The madness of March is upon us. And of course, you'll be able to follow all of the matchups right here on YurView on our show called Breaking Down the Madness. Now, sports analyst Adam Finkelstein is here with us with more details. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. So, of course, as Tom alluded to, people are mad out there, right? Okay. It's the month of March. Now, you'll be contributing your expertise to a show on YurView that goes deep into the details of the NCAA tournament called Breaking Down the Madness. So tell us what the focus is of the show.
Well, we've done this show for several years now, and it's really a lot of fun because it allows us to look forward to the tournament itself and on a week-to-week basis. So we get to recap some of the most exciting action, relive those moments, and then forecast what's coming ahead in the week to come, and really just keep up with the tournament as it evolves. So it's a lot of fun, can help you with your bracket early on, and then help you keep tabs on the tournament if you're actually one of those people who doesn't call out of work sick during the month of March like I do.
Well, it's a great show that I've actually been really excited to be a part of in the past, obviously covering a betting side more. But you and I both know that there's a lot of cool stories that come out of March. So obviously the tournament hasn't started yet, but it's too early to talk about which schools you think have an interesting story this year, or which teams you kind of have an eye on for who has performed better or maybe worse than you've expected.
I think Kansas and UCLA are two of the teams that I'm really intrigued with. Obviously, they're quote unquote blue bloods. So there's storylines around them. I think for Kansas, having won the championship last year and then gone through really just wholesale changes, had two guys drafted in the first round of the NBA draft, had to hit the transfer portal as well as the high school recruiting ranks to kind of rebuild this roster. And they're right here in the thick of things again. Bill Self proving that, after Jay Wright and Coach K kind of moved on from college coaching, he may be the biggest personality in all of college basketball. And certainly an opportunity to repeat as national champions would solidify him in that spot. UCLA, as I said, and I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you, but I really do think they have a chance. I think they brought in a couple of really high-powered freshmen, but they
Amari
got
Bailey.
Yeah, Amari. But here's the thing, Amari Bailey. Everybody knew he had this huge following, and they've got him to buy into the bigger picture here, and that's really a huge thing for Bailey, and everybody's really contributing to the collective effort. And I think now that they're healthy, they got a chance to really make things, really make a run here, and they've done it in the last couple of postseasons. I think, if I had to pick a couple early favorites, they would be right there with Kansas.
I agree. And I think it's that coaching advantage you were talking about, too, with Bill Self makes incredible halftime adjustments and lost 6 of his 8 top scorers from last year's team. So really cool that they've been able to kind of sustain things this year. And of course, I'm a big UCLA fan, so I'm very excited.
All right. I didn't realize that. No,
just a little. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so here's where I'm a little lost in this whole UCLA thing. No one wants to talk about Texas Longhorns. They never make it past the Sweet
Texas
16.
Is good.
And it upsets me all the time. But don't they have a player on there named Carr?
Marcus Carr. And listen, here's the story of Texas. I mean, it's the midseason coaching change and the job that Rodney Terry has done, having to take over from Chris Beard and then having an opportunity, if they make a postseason run, to win that job outright, not as the interim head coach, but as the full-time head coach moving forward. I think, when that change first took place, he was viewed as a long shot candidate, but Texas has played so well under Rodney Terry that he's got to get consideration, especially if they can make a run in March. And they, it's not just Marcus Carr. They've got Tyrese Hunter. They can beat you in a lot of different ways. The backcourt, those two guys are obviously very good. But this is a team that really is playing with some passion. They know they're playing behind their coach. They know this is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him to get what is considered to be one of the better jobs in all of college basketball.
Right.
Yeah, and the Big 12 has been the Big 12 has just been its own absolute gauntlet this year. It's been incredible. And people love the stories, obviously, of March, especially if you're not like us who follow sports every day. Is there any potential Cinderella stories that you see coming out of March?
I think that it's almost too early to tell. I mean, I think that, it's hard to call obviously no one refers to Gonzaga as a mid-major anymore. I wouldn't want to play St. Mary's either. I wouldn't want to play whoever comes out of the A10. I think it's this. The Cinderellas are going to emerge. That's what makes them Cinderellas. We don't know who they are before the dance arrives. And so, nobody thought UMBC was going to be Cinderella before their slipper was bigger than anybody. So that's what makes this the most entertaining thing in all of sports, in my opinion. It's just the unpredictability.
What about players? Are there any players in particular? Because I know you follow high school, so you've covered some of these players for a long time.
Yeah, I think from a player perspective, there again, you never know, but I'm going to go with Kyle Filipowski at Duke. Duke is a team that nobody's talking about. John Shire just set a record. He hasn't lost a game at home. Kyle Filipowski, one of the best freshmen in the country. They could make a run even though nobody's talking about them, and he has been one of the best freshmen in the whole country.
No doubt. So lastly, Adam, you got to give us a prediction.
Well, I mean, Danielle, it's your show, right? So I got to go with UCLA.
No. Okay.
Yeah, all right. So
unbiased.
no Texas Longhorns, nothing.
Texas is good. It's going to be a really good tournament. I think. I think what Adam's saying too is because we don't know who the Cinderellas are yet, because there's a lot of kind of parity this year. It seems like.
In all seriousness, I will say this. I think in any given year, there's 6 to 10 teams who can win it. I think there's legitimately 16 plus teams that could get to a Final Four this year.
You got it?
Yes, that's what's so exciting about March Madness. It gets everybody involved. It's just win and you advance, otherwise you go home. And there is going to be a new Breaking Down the Madness show each week with Adam, of course, beginning on March 13th. So check your local guide for those run times. Thank you, Adam, so much for getting us all amped up for the madness.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, Adam was teaching us a couple of things about March Madness, and up next we're going to meet a champion teacher. Stick around and see who it is.